All right, guys, so now we're going to start to think about implementing our Bootstrap theme, bringing it into our Django application so that's what displays in the front-end website. But I want to just take a look at how to handle static files, because this is something that can be very confusing. It's something that confused me at first. So just try to really follow along here. So I have our project, our BTRE project folder. This is just our root Django project. And then we have our BTRE theme, which is included in your resources. And we don't care about any of this stuff. All we care about is the dist folder, which has our HTML files. But right now I want to focus on this assets folder. Okay, this has like all of our CSS, our Bootstrap, everything, all the JavaScript, all the images, the fonts for Font Awesome, all that stuff. So we want to bring this into our application as static assets. So in our BTRE project, what we're going to do is go into this folder, this BTRE folder, and I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this static. Okay, and then this is where I want to put our main static files. So the whole CSS folder, the whole JS, and the whole web fonts. I'm going to copy and bring that in. Now the images, some of this stuff we don't want, because like the homes, for example, these are all images we're actually going to upload through the admin area when we create our listings. Same thing with the realtors. So we don't want those. All we really want is the light box and then these images. Okay, so we want these in a folder called IMG. So let's create IMG up here. Okay, and then we're going to let's bring all of these images and the lightbox folder. Okay, so just to reiterate, inside our main BTRE project, we have a folder called BTRE that was generated when we ran start project from Django admin, and then we put our static folder in there, and I just brought everything into that. Okay, so let's make sure that you have that. Okay, so now we need to go to our settings file. So we want to go to btre settings.py, and you can see at the bottom here we actually have a static URL set to static, but we want to add two other things here. One is going to be the static root. Okay, and the idea of this is when you deploy your application, you run a command called collect static, and it goes into all of your applications or all of your apps, and if it has a static folder, it takes everything out and puts it into a root static folder. So that's what we're defining here. So we're going to say os.path.join, just like we did with the templates, and say base directory and then static. Okay, and then we want to do one more value here, which is going to be static files underscore dirs. Okay, and we want to set the location of the static folder we just created, which is in this BTRE folder. So the way that we can do that is os.path.join base dir, and then we want btre/static. Okay, so that should be the correct configuration. Let's save this. Now, if I bring this up here and I do a python manage.py help, you'll see there's actually a command called collect static. Okay, so that should actually find any static folders we have and create one into whatever we define as the static root. Okay, and you could call this anything, assets, I'm just going to leave it as static. But let's go ahead and try to run that. So if we say python manage.py and we say collect static, let's run that. Okay, so 150 static files copied, and you can see that it actually created a static folder in our root, which has not only the stuff that we put in the BTRE, but also the admin, okay, the static admin files. So when we deploy, this is actually where it looks for everything, including the admin CSS and all that stuff. So once we put this on our server, we want to run that command. Now, one thing we don't want is to push this to our repository. So we're going to go to our .gitignore, and we're actually going to add /static. Okay, and then another thing that I forgot to do is to add a slash in front of media, because I only want the root static and media to not be pushed to the repository. All right, so we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, and you can make your git commits and that on your own. But now that we have our static files set up, we can move on to basically bring in our Bootstrap theme, bring in all that markup. Okay, so that's what we're going to do in the next video.